You guys, sorry, we had a party last night. Are you guys having fun? I'm going to get you some microphones.
You're kidding? We're in the home of the Fab Four. Family, why not?
There you go, Carlo.
Having a lot of fun.
Can we share one between the two?
Yes. Well, we don't share very well.
All right, okay.
A lot of windows.
Okay.
We haven't had the opportunity.
New with this.
Step up to the mic, Carlo. Good.
But we're after tomorrow, I think at that point we're going to take a few days and check it out. Liverpool's great.
Yeah.
Liverpool's happening.
Have you guys been here before?
London.
London. Okay.
When I was in London when I was 10, that's the last time I was here.
Wow.
So I'm just.
So I got to meet Lee, I got to meet P.R. Paul, I got to meet Erica. And so I have to say that that's probably got to be my favorite episode. Just everybody coming together, the new kids, the old kids, and just really seeing what a legacy the show had.
What was the atmosphere like on set for that episode? Was it?
Ooh, electric.
Party.
Electric.
Yeah.
Body electric.
Cynthia?
I'm not sure out of the two. One was the one with Donna McKechnie, where she played my mother and she had the dance off with Debbie. But the other one was the anorexic episode, the episode where Holly was anorexic. It was a really emotional experience. It was really special to be directed by Valerie. She's always late.
It was just an amazing experience, and I wouldn't even know how to top that, except to say I got to work with these guys all the time.
Thanks, Loretta.
I guess, especially for those like from America or those that have seen the DVDs of season 5 and 6, my favorite episode was what Jesse said, the final one when I saw all of my stars too. But if I have to pick another one, I would say the Apollo one.
Sure.
Yeah, because that gave me a chance to see my culture and experience that. We actually went to New York and we were at the Apollo. And oh my gosh, just amazing to see all that energy and all that fire and all that struggle to become famous and then be a part of it too. So that was amazing.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Okay, I really cannot peg a favorite episode because each one, we had so many incredible moments, particularly for me with Jesse, because we had so much music and dance together that we experienced. So, that's one of my favorite parts of the show for me was experiencing it with Jesse because they put us in these situations where we were always fighting or dancing or singing.
Danced in the rain.
Yeah, when we danced in the rain. That was like, oh, it was really powerful for me, for sure.
And that wasn't planned, it just rained and they kept going, it was magical.
It was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, I loved it.
Thank you, Nia. Carlo, what's your favorite episode?
To be perfectly honest, I for me it was kind of like one episode.
Yeah.
I remember certain scenes, certain situations, but as far as an episode, I couldn't pick one. I couldn't even name it. I don't know. We did it for so long.
I think my favourite Carlo was when Danny and Doris were trapped in the elevator.
Yeah.
Just comedy, sheer comedy.
You think that was good? You had to see it.
The look on their faces when they raced out.
We just talked about it.
Yeah.
Because somebody took a picture. That was a late night, like midnight.
In this old hotel downtown that was kind of, they hadn't even renovated it yet, when we were sitting there. No, and you said he found this picture that we must have just been exhausted. It must have been like 2 o'clock in the morning. We were just, so he was just holding me in his arms in the hotel because we had to sit in the elevator.
For hours.
Wow. Val, what was your favourite episode?
Well, I think you all know what my favorite episode is. I mean, I think if I just said to you, what was my favorite episode? Because I mean, how often do you get to do that? There are times where the other thing was, it was the complete fulfillment of like Mickey and Judy. We have a barn. let's do a show.
And it takes work. It's what I tell my kids. You know, my youngest one, my son Vincent's 18 years old. He's kind of lost right now. Doesn't know what he wants to do. So I said to him, that's the greatest answer in the world. You don't know what you want to do. So write all the things, forget about what you want to do. Write all the things down that you don't want to do. And then maybe what you want to do will pop up.
At one point telling Debbie, I'm so intimidated. You got me. We would do these weekend shows where we'd go do tour for Africa. We'd raise money. We've always been, they as a show was always mindful of its social activism. So we were always raising money for some great cause. So I would jump on stage with Gene and I'd be intimidated. And Debbie said, no, you're here for a reason, and you just be you.
It was a challenge and a great opportunity to learn too, because they were really great with that. And the dancers were a big part of our life too. So we spent a lot of time in rehearsal hall A. I was a hula dancer, so I didn't know anything about any other kind of dance, and they were so kind. I said, how do we really do this? And they would take me aside and they would spend extra time after work showing me how to turn out or showing me what the proper positions were. They were very, very kind and that, very giving. So my greatest challenge was feeling like I could live up to this and step right in and figure out how to get into that jump rope.
The national anthem at a baseball game, and I won't even tell you which one it is in case the video is like floating around somewhere in the outskirts. And I got off the plane, they flew me to the stadium, they walked me through the dugout, we're standing in the dugout, and the guy says to me, okay, so just over there's gonna be Mike over there, and then so we're gonna introduce you, and you're gonna be here, and you're gonna walk out, you're gonna sing, you're gonna come back, and then go to your seat. And I was like, okay, so when did we rehearse? And he says, oh, we're not rehearsing, there's nobody in the booth. You can go back to your hotel, we'll come get you later, and we're just gonna stand here, you go there, you sing, you come back. And so I'm standing there, and they introduce me, and I walk out, and I stand at the mic, and I sing, oh, say, can you? And right about then, my voice came back at me in a repeat, about 100 times as loud as my actual voice, and I completely lost my pitch and rhythm. I had no idea what key I was singing in or where I was. And there were 30,000 people in the stands, and I went bloodless. I mean, I literally, like, I could have fainted. I was so terrified. And I finished it out, no idea what it sounded like, and I got back to the stands. It was so weird. My uncle and aunt lived in that town. They came to hear me. I was like, and some guy next to me says, I liked your rendition.
As everyone's aware, from season 1 and 2 up until season 6, and it's obvious. So the show kind of went a little more Hollywood towards the end than what Fame was depicted. And that happens when you have certain producers and writers that were there and they're forced to leave, and other creators come in and script writers, et cetera, et cetera. So they adapted it to get the most out of it to keep the show going. So as cast members, we did. We would get scripts, you know, and kind of look at each other and go, are you kidding me? And I'll give you an example. I don't even remember what season it was where Danny comes down with leukemia. Yeah. So they in the script it was Danny's friend. And remember?
I was out there for looking.
I remember.
And the Danny's friend at the end of the episode passes away. So I remember saying at the end of the read, let Danny be the one. So they went right away to, you know, well, we can't have you.
We can't lose
pass
you.
away. You know, I said, that's not the issue. He doesn't have to. But this is what people live with. This is the reality of it. And if you're going to lose the real meaning, you know, everything is all great. Not everything is turns out, you know, in a song and a dance. you know, I mean, excuse my French, but shit happens. So let it be us, you know, not everything has to be a cartoon character. So it got a little more tougher to go in, but the cast is what kept us. So as long as everyone was laughing at the same thing, and we were all connected on story and what was garbage and what was great and our opinions, then it was cool. So that's why the show lasted as long as it did. It lasted because of these guys.
Say is that Julia, when I made my record Grown Up and we put it on CD Baby, Julia was the very first person to buy it. And it's why I always remembered it, you know? And I was like, oh, that's Julia, right? Okay, I would say probably 3. Turn to Me.
Yeah.
Beautiful Dreamer, and The Child in Me. There were songs to sing. There were other songs that were great, but there were songs that just were harder to sing, or that were just, but yeah.
Thank you, Val.
What about the experience of that, singing with her and such?
Oh, she was so lovely. She was just sweet and kind and generous, and she was so successful and famous already, and a Broadway star, and it was, you know, I was ready to be kind of intimidated and perhaps, you know, not worthy around her, and she was just the loveliest mom. I actually would love to reach out to her. I've seen she just recently did a cabaret, you know, one-woman show in the city, and you know, I'd love to find a way to reach her if anybody knows. Yeah, she was just so warm, and it was really special to sing out here on my own with her. I love that. I think I value it more now than I did then. I value the whole experience of the show more now.
American Idol, greatest dancer, blogger, what do you think in today's world would be the same?
Therapist.
I think that's really, if it's changed, as things change, people feel they don't need to go to drama school anymore, they can just jump on TV and suddenly do it.
You can if you want your career to last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Good
Okay,
point.
good answer.
Actually, there's a movie called Oh Lucky Man, Lindsay Anderson and Malcolm McDowell. It's a wild film, it's an English film, and I love it because it's a mixture of music, and they bring the band in the movie into the movie. So it's this is really meandering, isn't it? It's a beautiful movie about a lot of weird stuff. I suggest you watch it because the music is by Alan Price. Do we have Alan Price fans?
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan. It's an incredible job that he does, and that's why it's my
I'd like to be stuck in an elevator with Living or Death.
No. I'd have to say I wouldn't mind being stuck in an elevator with Debbie. Debbie Allen was so supportive. At that time, she just started.
There's an elevator outside, Jesse.
She was not only inspirational from having seen her, but she's from Houston, Texas. So she's from my hometown of Texas, and so it made me very proud to be working for a Texas girl. But also, she was so supportive. She was just starting. She was not only producing the show, but she was starting to direct episodes. And I walked onto the set, and again, I wanted to learn I've been in the theater my whole life, so I wanted to learn what film was about. We were lucky enough as a television show to be shooting a 35mm film. So it was film school. And she was so giving, and she talked about shots and composition and movement. And then she was also constantly inspiring us and uplifting us, and yet she had that leadership quality that all of us want to exemplify. So yeah, I wouldn't mind with my girl. And then, you know, we became good friends, and we hung out a lot off the set, and she was just always a mother. And so I think that and she's a hoot. She's hilarious.
Do you
Child, you can hear Child.
I just want to add to what you said. Do you know the scene This Is America? You know where Gene has that beautiful uniform on, and you may have noticed that Erica's in a frog dance. And I am in like garbage bags made in spacesuit. That was because we had a fight with Debbie over the number. And she put us in those costumes.
Ultimate fondest memory of working on the show is?
Okay, shall we start Val, with that? What would I mind?
Fondest memory. I would say not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the Wizard of Oz show. It's my fondest memory. Well, and everything I did with you.
Carlo.
What a liar. You know what? I think I'm gonna have to say this memory right now. I mean, this is.
I think for me it was the first summer that I was on the show, and we began filming in New York outside. And so for me, it was my first TV show, and we were the darlings of New York City, and there we are dancing through the streets of New York City, and just standing there like, whoa, this is really happening. And it had the energy of what the show was. And in that moment, because it was my first bit of filming was in the streets of New York. And it was just like, that for me was the greatest memory, because it was the most impactful moment. It was like the spear tip that pierced everything wide open for me. So it was really, really powerful. Yeah.
Loretta.
There's so many, I can't even begin to name them, but I'm just gonna talk about something that's a little bit different. I've heard about all the antics that like Carlo and Jesse and Gene would be doing on the set, but they never did that stuff in front of me. I think they were just kind of protecting me from it until the last few episodes. You know, we know it's getting ready to go, and we're real sad about it. We want to take some memorabilia with us, right? And I wanted my chair. We all had beautiful chairs, you know, with your name and fame on it, and they were like, "You can't have those." I'm like, "How come we can't have our chairs? It's my name, it's fame. Who else is gonna get that chair?" And so Gina's like, "You gonna get that chair? I'm like, trust me, you gonna get that chair." If you're on the soundstage, you're like 20 feet walls, right? Surrounding the soundstage. You can't get anything out. Man had ropes. He had pulleys. Jesse was with me on the outside of the soundstage. The chairs down. Half the stuff that is coming by, and we're like, we just need our chairs. I will never forget that. Thank you. I got my chair now.
As much as it pains me, and believe me, this is really painful, I have to agree with Carlo. Being here with all of you and everybody after all of these years is truly a blessing.
I found driving onto the MGM lot to just be surreal every day. It was astounding, and the sound stages, you know, having an entire New York City block on a sound stage, an entire theater on a sound stage, and the hallways and the classrooms, and being in the dance rehearsal room right there next to the wardrobe building at MGM was the coolest thing ever. Like, if you were not shooting, you were either in the recording studio or down in the dance rehearsal. And it was pandemonium. Either people were dancing, or when once Debbie was dating Norm Nixon, he'd bring a basketball in, and there was a basketball hoop in there, and Norm would start shooting basketball. And I remember Carlo would all the guys would start playing hoops, and Debbie would be like, "Norm, you gotta get out of here!" And everybody on the lot, they'd have to walk from the cafeteria past the dance rehearsal customers like to their offices, and they'd all pop their heads in because they're all like doing an office job, like desk work, and we were dancing and playing basketball. It was really, really extraordinary experience.
Fondest memories, I have two. One is getting on the show and not shooting on a soundstage, starting to do character stories, nothing like that. We went to New York and we did a live concert, the heart of rock and roll. And so that was my introduction to this show. It wasn't on a soundstage, it was being introduced to 2,000 people at Howard Beach in New York and just performing with these people. Janet Jackson's on stage with us, all of these incredible performers are on stage. And just really realizing that this show was rock and roll, man. It really was about being a rock star. And so that was one of my fondest memories, is that, the performance, the creation of the performance of that. My second fondest memory was one lunch, we got invited to Rehearsal Hall A. And we walk in and realize that that was the rehearsal hall where Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, Gene Kelly, and I grew up on MGM musicals. And there they were, and we were having a lunch with them, and the place was filled, but there are my icons, Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly, the guys that I idolized watching these musicals, and just getting a chance to shake their hand while they were still around. That was one of my fondest memories of being on the
everyone on Fame seemed to be at least a dancer's size, even if they weren't a dancer. So I'm thinking there's no way on earth I'll have a chance to do something like that. But I had a car, and a lot of the dancers wanted to go and audition. I'm like, well, I'll take you down there, because I just wanted to be a part of all that energy. And then when we get down there, I heard Debbie Allen's on the soundstage, and I want to meet her. So it's like, the guard, when we got around to the front, there was like 6,000 girls all the way around the soundstage auditioning that day. It was huge. We were out there from like 6 o'clock in the morning to I don't know when it ended. And then by the time we got up to the front door, they were saying we have to have a number to get into the soundstage because we're only letting people who are auditioning in. So I was like, yeah, give me a number because I'm going to meet Debbie. So
This is Leroy's story from the movie, because he wasn't meant to audition. He went with friends. Yeah.
That thing actually happened.
Life imitated art.
It did.
So what happened next?
So then I get on the stage, and then after I get in, we find out Debbie Allen had left, or she might not have even been there that day. So I was like, okay, well, since I'm in here, I'll just see what it's like. And the first part of the audition turned out to be singing. And I'm like, okay, I can sing. I know I can sing. So you walk into the soundstage, there's this huge long table, and it's a big room, high walls, and I remember it's green for some reason. And there's producers and directors all lined up and all looking at you like, next. Next. I mean, it was that dry. And then they brought in 10 girls at a time, and we're all lined up in chairs. And then there's a microphone in front of the table, and there's a little girl on the end with a bell. And she gives you 5 seconds. You got 5 seconds to show them what you can do, and then they're moving on. Because they're trying to get all those people through for the day. And so, luckily, I was number 10 in my group, so I got to see what everybody else was doing ahead of me. And they would get up there, and they would start the song, and it's like before they can get into the meat, the girl would go, bing, they would say, next. And they just moved on. I'm like, shoot, how do you know she can sing? She didn't get to the meat of the song yet. And so when it was my turn, I'm like, I'm going to start in the middle, because they're going to hear something I can do before, they hit the ding on me. So I started in the middle of the song, and I think I did For Your Eyes Only. I love that song.
She was from where I live. She was from where I live.
Yeah. And then I was just about to sing a high note, and the little girl said ding, and I went, wait, let me do the high note. And they looked at me, and the person said, okay, go ahead. I went, ah! Thank you, and I went, oh. I guess that was it. So I started to sing, and then I hear this little girl running all the way around the soundstage, and she has papers. She goes, you made the first cut. We want you to come back and read. That was awesome. That was awesome.
How old were you then? What you...
I was in college. My second year, I was 21 at the time. And then all the people that I brought left me. Hello, they found other rides home. They just actually, that part, when Cindy was talking about getting rid of those voices that are the negative ones, I have to admit, I had a hard time with that. I mean, already I'm feeling a little insecure because I'm not looking like the other dancers. And I couldn't seem to get that out of my head for a minute. And then when I get back and I'm talking to the dancers with the beautiful bodies standing in front of me going, how come they called you back? That don't make any sense. You're not a dancer. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you other than, you know, I love God and favor ain't fair. I got a cyst on my bum. It was a huge honker. I couldn't sit. They had to finally take me to the doctor to get a little surgery done on it. That's how bad I was stressing, and it's like, I couldn't seem to relax. It's Debbie Allen, and she's just like her character. She's very sweet, she's very loving, but she's like, get it together, you know? And she's like, you know, she's just, and I wanted to be the best I could be for her, and turns out I didn't have to be that stressed, because like you said, they were family, they were welcoming. But you know, you get things in your head and you just want to, so it turned out okay after a while, but I was nervous, I was really nervous.
Yeah.
Erica got her movie, thank you God for blessing her.
Everyone's a winner.
I don't know if it was Doris or Erica was supposed to sing the song with him, I Love You. Guess it gets to sing it now. I get to sing that with him, and I went up to him like, it's okay if I kiss you after the song, right? And he looked at me like, I'm gonna kiss you, right? Okay, so watch for that, because I'm gonna kiss him.
Well, a little bit of rehearsals that I saw yesterday, it was Be My Music, and the first note Lee played, I started crying. And I'm a hard man from Glasgow, you know, so it was just, so yeah, no, I'm so not, so not this week, but oh no. But I was gone, I was away, I don't know how I'm going to get through the whole concert. I think we're all going to be, it's just going to be a sob fest.
I'm crying at Desdemona, so we're not trying to...
You cried at Desdemona? How'd you cry at Desdemona? See, I remember lines to Desdemona in front of the mirror when I was a kid. I'm not a hard man. So, what do you do now, Loretta? What have you been doing recently? What's your life?
Well, of course, after taking care of my parents, I started getting back into acting and directing. More directing. I like being behind the scenes. It's kind of cool when you get to say what happens. Because the rest of the time, you know, you're the prop for someone else's dream or someone else's vision. And I like that too. I like to see if I can get, you know, where they want us to go. But I've actually written a show called The Black Pathfinder. Has anyone seen The Black Panther? Okay, so it's inspired by that, but it's not really about that. It's about this fictitious league called the Amalgamated African League. And they've been in existence for hundreds of years, called Lou Rawls' Parade of Stars. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. You know who Lou Rawls is, right? So we get there, and it's like every celebrity that I've ever loved is in this building getting ready to perform on this huge stage. Patti LaBelle and Dionne Warwick are sitting on a couch talking about soap operas. Oh, they're like real people. And then Dionne Warwick comes over to Nia, and she's like, we love you. We love the way you sing on TV. And I was like, I'm happy for Nia, but I'm like, they haven't heard me sing. Yeah, but still that was so cool to just have them, you know, be impressed with what we do on Fame. And these are people that I grew up with all their records all that time. And then a security guard comes over to me and goes, Miss Janet would like to speak to you. And I'm like, Miss who? I didn't get it. I had never heard her called Miss Janet before. And I'm like, and so Nia's like, Janet Jackson. And I'm like, oh, she's here? And I'm like, well, how come she's not with the rest of us? Janet's a different breed. She had to have, yeah, seriously, she has to have separate security because people tear at her all the time. She's just that huge. So the rest of us would be, all these other celebrities are in a room together, but Janet has to be separated from everyone else. So she's in the back somewhere, and the guard took me to her. And when I go see her, she's standing against the wall, her head's down like this, and she goes, very nice. And she goes, you remind me so much. And I'm like, what did she say? I go and I stand against the wall with her, and she goes, you remind me so much of me. And I went, I do? And she busted up laughing. We held hands and we just stood there and we talked for a while. She's amazing. She's always been a ladies' man. And even before he was on the show, Jesse was a ladies' man at the school. And everybody wanted to get close to Jesse, so I was no different. It was very nice that we got to do that. And he was so sweet and warm and helped me get into character with it. So yeah, that was fun. Okay, gosh, don't make me cry all the time.
It's like therapy, isn't it?
It is.
Let it out, baby, let it out.
I think that's the other thing that makes fame so magical is because we were who we were portraying. We weren't playing a part, that's who we were. And the directors and the producers knew that. You are performers. We know you must be feeling this, we're performers too. So I absolutely felt like I needed a place to belong. And everything I was feeling was in that song. So it was amazing. It was amazing. Have you guys heard that song?
Yeah.
How did it go?
I'll do a little piece. Growing up, it's more than growing older. And at times like this, I wish I could be strong. There's this frightened child inside of me, wondering when did I do wrong? And I admit to anything if you take me in and let me come back.